Good afternoon, my fellow aviators and my beloved mechanics. Here we're starting a new series on congressional oversight, and this flight patch here is Congress Not-In-Sight. And as we know, we just lost a congressman just the other day in a fatal aircraft in Crystal Park. So we want to give our wishes and our prayers out to Liz Conmy, who just lost her life in a plane. And I'd like to emphasize that we're not trying to scare anyone here, but nobody's safe. And now that a lawmaker has lost her life in one of these planes going down, now I think we'll get more emphasis on getting aviation safety and FAA reform on our ticket. So now I'd like to introduce my good friend and also running for Congress, so we hope to be back in Congress in November or January, in January, to represent you and to represent aviation issues. This is Erskine Levy, and I'll let him just explain what he's all about.
How you doing? My name is Erskine Levi. I'm running for Congress along with my pal here, Captain Ryder. I am myself a teacher, 30 years. I am a former captain in the Army National Guard, former military police officer on the SWAT team, and I got quite a few other things I've done. So I'm running in the 31st District. That's in the East San Gabriel Valley area. And I'm going through our primaries in California, June 2nd, right?
Mm-hmm. June 2nd. Please
June 2nd
come out and vote for us.
That's right. And the general election's November 2nd. So that's a little bit about me, and that's what I'm doing. But I'm also here to back up Captain Ryder here about the flight safety problems. As he mentioned, Liz Conmy, a state representative, just crashed within the last couple of days in her plane. So no one's safe, as he says. They've had quite a few crashes lately in different planes, aircraft of some sorts. Helicopters have gone down. We have a lot of video, but we have a lot of video footage over the years of all these terrible accidents that are happening.
And what's happening is now the problem has gotten so bad that we're losing about 2 to 3 aircraft a month across the nation, just these planes going down into these neighborhoods. Now, just to give an example, just out here in our local area, we just had a plane crash into a neighborhood in Camarillo 2 months ago. Then we had a plane in Deer Valley crash into a neighborhood and into somebody's roof just this last month. Now we have Liz Conmy crashing right on takeoff and going into a fireball just there in Crystal Park. So now what I'd like to Erskine to do is we have a petition drive here going. Now, I would like to block out other people. Well, we're having a petition drive here. Here I have a picture of the petition drive. But this is nationwide, and Erskine's a busy man and was calling him. But we're doing this petition drive to start a congressional inquiry into the FAA and the NTSB. Now, as you've noticed from my other videos and articles, I have a federal law enforcement background. I've been a special agent in the Department of Defense for 10 years, and then a special investigator with the FBI for 10 years. And so I know federal law. I've done a lot of internal affairs and investigations. And what I found out with investigating the FAA and the NTSB is that the NTSB is actively falsifying their accident reports. Then we look at the FAA, they're falsifying their reports. In fact, they're even falsifying their reports of investigation when they go out and talk to us airmen and mechanics. Now, I've gone up and down the chain of the FAA and nobody cares. And I found out something interesting. There's nobody watching the FAA. There's nobody watching the NTSB. And nobody cares. And so this petition here is just to get Congress, who has oversight of them, to get on the ball and to keep us safe. So here I'd like to give the petition to Erskine, have him sign it. And as he's signing that, please email me at rmriter@aol.com, and I can send you a copy of this petition, or you can download a picture of it right here. Please sign it and fill it out and send it to me via email, And I'll add it to the list because right now I've been talking to several congressmen. One is in my district that I'm running for in the 23rd district in California, Jay Abernathy. He's a pilot. He's an ATP. He has his own jet. I've only been trying to contact his office now for 5 years, telling him about these problems. Doesn't care one bit. So that's why me and Erskine and other congressmen that we're putting together are coming together to help solve these problems in aviation.
And I want to kind of read what the petition says. Petition for congressional inquiry into the actions of the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, and the National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB. The FAA and NTSB employees have falsified accident reports, violated both federal and state laws, illegally targeted airmen and aircraft mechanics, and have failed in their duties to keep aviation safe. We request that Congress conduct a congressional inquiry into these allegations. So I am signing it. I would like everybody to sign it.
And you know why he signed that? Let's take a quick commercial break. So now, if you go to my website, you can order these flight patches for your flight jacket. They're Velcro, so they come on and off, so you can change out the flight patches. But some of these that I'd like to introduce to you is, I got to write this article, but this is FAA drug abatement, feral hogs. And I think I put bloody scours. You in the Midwest around pig farms would know what bloody scours are. So anyways, this article talks about the drug abatement program and how they're abusing airmen and shutting down businesses at our airports. We have seen from this other petition drive here, the NTSB is falsifying the accident reports on us, and by compromising our national accident investigations, they're putting all of us at risk. So this one is NTSB, and it's anything goes, and somebody's full. So this is another patch you can order and put on. And to introduce to you is called Engine Running, Grim Reaper, Harvesting. Now this one is just a topic on aviation training that we don't really get taught in flight school. When you as a pilot are leaving that aircraft running, that propeller becomes invisible. So now we've had cases where our passengers have walked right into the propeller. So on this one, I recommend this for all my student pilots and working pilots because it's something that we just don't think about because we're always aware of the engine running. We know where that propeller is, but our passengers do not. So hey, please go to my website at www.capthatguy.com and order these patches. They're for free. Just pay for shipping and handling. I think it's like $10. We'll cover postage and sending them out to you. So they are free. And if you feel like putting a donation to help us run for Congress and fix aviation, hey, we're politicians now, asking for free money. It feels like second nature to me now. So anyways, let's carry on with the video. So now, let's talk about the main issue at hand. What's going on is that at our airports, the maintenance has been declining over the years. Recently, within I'd say about the last 5 years, now we've had all our old-time mechanics that know how to work on these airplanes. They're all retiring or they're dropping dead. One or the other, but they're not at the airport anymore. So now we're seeing unlicensed mechanics work on planes, and we're losing lives because of it. My personal story is I was in one of these aircraft that almost went into someone's home, into a schoolyard with full of kids, into a shopping center. So a few years back, I took my plane to an FAA-approved and supervised maintenance shop, at which time they had an unlicensed mechanic do what's called a top overhaul, where he replaced all the cylinders on the engine. This young man was trying to do his job to the best of his ability, just didn't have the experience. And the shop was so busy that all the experienced mechanics just didn't even have time to help him out. So he was just working on his own. And all he did was just over-tighten a couple bolts, tightening the bolts holding the cylinders onto the engine. When you over-tighten those bolts, that over-tightening transferred to the journals on the crankshaft, so he crushed the bearings onto the crankshaft. Now, this is just a novice mistake, and this is a common mistake with race engines and car engines, so it's just a common novice mistake. In an aircraft maintenance hangar, this is unacceptable. This is no place for novice mistakes. Would you agree?
I agree. No place for novice mistakes.
So anyways, I'm up there at 5,000 or 6,000 feet over Riverside, California, and because of that crushed bearing, it heated up the crankshaft where the crankshaft snapped in two. So now I'm with two other pilots. I'm at 5,000 feet over a very, very congested area. All yellow, so very congested, lots of people down there. And now I have a smoked engine. By the grace of God, I was able to make it safely into Redlands Airport and land that airplane. But on that day, my life, the life of two pilots, and the lives of just people living their lives down there in Riverside, Redlands, Loma Linda, Yucaipa. So on that day, all of the people that were underneath this broken airplane were placed in harm's way. The people of Riverside, Loma Linda, Yucaipa, Redlands, all placed in harm's way over this mistake. Now you would think the FAA would be on top of this, right?
Right there, right on top.
Right there on top of it. Submitted a full report on there, and guess what the FAA did? The FAA buried this whole incident. Didn't bring it up at all. No action was taken against the maintenance shop. What they did do, believe it or not, is they filed an investigation, started an investigation on me for reporting it. So that's the environment that we have in aviation right now. And me and Erskine, we want to put an end to this. This is unacceptable. Our lives matter. So with that being said, with Erskine and I, we want to go to Congress and represent you. Because this problem can only be fixed at Congress. The FAA and the NTSB are controlled by the House Aviation Sub-Committee. Now, to be honest, this isn't a very sexy subcommittee to be on. I think you're just dumped on there.
Someone's got to be on it, though.
Someone's got to be on it, and I wish it would be us. Because with me and Erskine, we're not going to put up with the just stupid behavior that the FAA and the NTSB do to our congressmen on this committee. They're there to represent us and to oversee the FAA and the NTSB. But what's happening is these career federal employees are beating up on our congressmen and not letting them do any oversight. We wish to put an end to that. So with that being said, me and Erskine, we want to send our prayers out to Liz Conmy and her family. And I am truly sorry this had to happen. But right now, no one is safe. No one is safe at all. And as far as me and Erskine are concerned, if we have to campaign, if we have to just talk to everybody that we can, we're going to do everything we can do to keep you guys safe. And with that, Erskine, would you like to add anything to that before we close out this short video?
I am with Captain Ryder here. Keep everybody safe from the skies to the ground to the investigations. I want to do our best that we represent you in Congress. And I don't know if I've said it, but I know Captain Ryder did. And he had his email, not my email, but my website is www.levi4congress.com. So that's levi4congress.com. Visit my website, and I'll have some information on there about what I'm doing, why I'm running, what's going on in my campaign, and along with the flight safety stuff. And Captain Ryder will be doing the same thing. So we want to represent you in Congress. Right, Captain?
Yep.
All right.
And we just the main thing is to keep you guys safe. All that matters to us is your safety, your family's safety, and your loved one's safety. So with that being said, I would like to say, God bless.
God bless.
Keep flying speed. Peace.